Hello and welcome to Saturday Night Crafting. We're going to get messy tonight. I didn't know what to call this video, so I just went with Get Messy. And it's going to be part 1 of 2 because it's so long doing all the fun techniques. I needed a second one to be able to do the card making. Now before we go any further, check me out. This is really exciting. Put this in your diary. I have got my own products being launched with Craft Stash. So if you want to come and check me out, pop over to their YouTube channel and you can see me on Wednesday at 6 p.m. sharing for the first time ever my designs. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to share that with you. You can tune in at 7 o'clock on my channel for a very similar sharing as well. So please do make sure to save the date. I would love to see you on their YouTube channel. I'll put that link in the description box below for you. I'm going to jump into tonight's tutorial where we're going to have fun and play with some powders and have a lot of fun with that. The first thing I wanted to show was your spray bottle. So I've only just twigged I've been using the wrong kind of spray bottle. I still don't have the right one. So if you have a good one, please tell me in the comments. I really need to find a better one. But my big spray bottle sprayed too much water and I've always saturated my powders and I haven't got the look I'm going for. So I found some little ones in my stash. They still leave some big droplets, so I'm not overly happy with them. So if you've got a water bottle, please put it in the description box so I know what to look for. So firstly, I thought I'd share with you my powders. I've got Pretty Gets Gritty Explosion powders, I've got Nouveau Shimmer powders, and I've got Cosmic Shimmer Pixie Sparkles that I use in my video. As always, I'll do my best to link everything in the description box for you that I can find, but a lot of things I used today I don't think are available anymore, but I was just having fun. So I'm getting started with technique number 1, which is using embossing ink, so a sticky pigment ink, to pick up some of the powder to be able to turn the powders into a stamp. So I've got a bit of scrap paper out. I'm going to sprinkle my powders down and kind of just do them in a fun array all over the place. I'm going to make sure I've got my ink on my stamp. I'm going to pick up the powders with my stamp. I'm going to then spritz my stamp with some water to activate the powders. And then I'm going to stamp it down. Now I did make the error in the beginning of using Watercolor Card. I thought I needed Watercolor Card because I'm using water and I'm using these pigments. But actually, you'll see in a bit, I get a much clearer result not using Watercolor Card. So using bog standard cardstock seemed to absorb the water a lot quicker. It seemed to give me a lot better of an image. So you will see lots of the samples at the end of all the ones I tried and different ones I did. And then you can kind of see the results. But Watercolor Card wasn't really my friend in this technique, and I didn't really use it much at all in the video. I switched to normal cardstock, just plain white cardstock. I buy mine from Lime Tree Crafts in the UK. I always try and put their link in the description box with the cardstock I use. So this is the Watercolor Card. It looks a bit grainy, doesn't look really perfect, but it's still kind of cool. You get that different coloration in it. I don't know if that's a word. I'm going to do my sunflower stamp next. This one is definitely not available anymore. I can't seem to find it anywhere for you, so I apologize. And I'm going to use these 3 yellows. So the kind of brownish yellow, the normal yellow, and then the other one that I shared. I've already forgotten. And I'm going to pick that up with my sunflower stamp and put that down onto a piece of watercolor card, because at this point I still haven't twigged that it's not working perfectly for me. And you can see it kind of smudges out a little bit and it goes a little bit blurry, but it's still kind of a fun color to it. Now I will try and link the powders for you. I'll definitely put in Pretty Gets Gritty because I know her website and you can go and check out her colors there. And she often brings out new colors, so it's worthwhile keeping an eye on that. This is a media plate. It is not a jelly plate. It's basically a photopolymer chunk. It's like a photopolymer stamp, but one big chunk. And it's quite fun. So you can put it into your stamp platform. You can't really put a jelly plate, I don't think, into your stamp platform because they're really thick. This will fit into your stamp platform. Now, this media plate does not work like a jelly plate. It won't do your paints, but it will do inks, and it does these powders. So you're going to see me now for the next little while play with the powders on this plate because I bought it from Craft Stash and I wanted to try it out. I was hoping it was going to be just like a jelly plate but cheaper, but it's not. But I went to town. I'm telling you, I spent about 3 hours playing around, having the time of my life with this little plate and trying my best to get the things I wanted. So you can get some solid images if you spray lots of water. You can get a more speckled look if you spray less water. And then we can take stamps and add in stamps and get kind of a stamped impression into your card panel. So it's really fun, and I had a lot of good fun with this plate. And so if you want something different and fun in your stash, this plate might be for you. It may not be. You may have a jelly plate and it does the same thing and you don't need one of these, and that's fine. And I didn't intend for this video to be focused around this silly media plate, but I got so into it, I cannot tell you how much I used it. I really had a really good time. So on the screen, I'm trying to share with you the color combinations I've used in case you've got these in your stash. I always put some of the powder onto a piece of watercolor card, activate it, and then punch it out with whatever circle punch I've got that best fits the lid, and I keep it on top. And then that way when it's in my little box, I can see exactly what I'm reaching for and what color I want to use. Also, by the way, I hope you have your drink in hand because it is Saturday night crafting. I've got my glass of wine. I'm running late. It's already gone past 7 o'clock and I'm still doing my voiceover. So you're going to be hearing this probably close to 9. So I apologize. But I have had a hectic weekend with my son by myself. My husband took my daughter up to Manchester to see his parents and go to a football match. And then my son had his best friend's birthday party. So we stayed here. And so it's just us two at the moment. And it's been a bit slow going, so we roll with it. Doesn't matter. The video is coming out tonight. I'm actually crafting Saturday with you. I am voicing over Saturday night with you. I've got my glass of wine. I'm having a fantastic time. So I hope you're having a great time as well. A lot of my followers tend to watch me in the morning, especially if you're over New Zealand, Australian kind of way, and it's first thing in the morning, so please don't have your glass of wine in the morning. Gosh, that would be bad. Right, so here's a little speckled look. I took a flat-ended makeup brush and kind of dabbed on my color, and I got such a different look. So if you're watching the video while I'm yabbering away, you can see the different techniques I'm doing, and I'm using paintbrushes, I'm using the flat-ended makeup brush, I come in with the big fatty makeup brush that was all the trend for ages for color blending or ink blending. I come in with that and show a different technique. This is one of my favorites. This is what I was going for. I was going for the speckled, random, light, dusting look that I could use as a background. And I achieved it with a paintbrush and the media plate. So I'm getting here what I really wanted to have happen when I put my powder down and mist it. So if you've got that misting bottle that gives a really fine mist and it's really nice, oh, please tell me, because I seem to be sucking at getting the right kind of misty bottle. So anyways, a lot of these prints I go over a couple times before I ink them up again with my powders, just to make sure I'm using up all that powder. And to be honest, this is my new stamping platform from Craft Stash, and I'm really, really loving it. The stamp mat, or the media mat, fits perfect in it. And works really well, but it's super easy to clean. Nothing stained on it, so it was really good. My media mat by the end did stain a little bit blue, but the stamp platform I just ran under some water in my bathroom. Cleaned up beautifully. Looks great. Really couldn't tell I did all this mess. Honestly, when you get to the end of the video, you will see the ridiculous amount of samples I had. Now here, I stamped it. It didn't explode enough, so I spritzed it with water afterwards, and I got the look I was looking for. So that was fun. Now I've got the media plate, I've got it all inked up with my powder, I've gone ahead and powdered it up off screen, and I'm wiping off the transferred dust so that the plate has got that impression. So you can see here, it's got the impression of the stamp in it. This stamp I don't think is available, I'm sorry. I'll try and find it for you. So I'm going to mist it with my water. I'm going to stick my piece of card on top of it to try and pick up that image in the image impression into the media mat, and it does work, but again, I need a new misty bottle because I put too much water down. I got blobs of water again, but you can see when I flip it over, you can see the stamped image on there. So if I got the right kind of misting bottle, I think this could work beautifully well. Here's the better impression. This is second time around. The blobs that you can see are where my spritzer kind of blobbed the water rather than misting the water. So you can take it and you can do sort of your image into your background. Now I thought, actually, why am I wiping off the transfer when I'm picking it up? I might as well take an impression while I'm doing it. Now I did make a mistake, so it comes up gorgeous. You see this impression and it is fantastic. It is such fun. I can't tell you how fun it is. Look at it. It's like rainbows. I love it. The downside is I didn't wipe it very well when I had misted it. So when I went to pick up more ink to be able to do it again, I did blob some water onto the media plate and got it a bit juicy, which isn't what I wanted to do. But anyways, this one here, I decided to just paint on my powder. So I sprinkled it on where I wanted it to go, and then I used my paintbrush to kind of even it out and level it out and see what the results were. I still get that separation of color, which is gorgeous, which is why I like these explosion powders. They just kind of separate and they give you lots of color definition and uniqueness. I love them so much. So again, I went ahead and did that. I did have to wash my brush and dry it after this because it was damp, so it didn't quite get the same nice effect. But it is good fun. I added a little bit more powder, and then I was able to pick up a few more prints. I did a lighter print as well. Honestly, I think I used about 50 sheets of cardstock. I went to town on this. I couldn't stop, which is why you don't get a video tonight of all the cards that I've made with it, because I still need to do that. I'm going to come in with Alina's Craft stamp here. This is one of my favorites. I keep going to it time and time again. I love these flowers, and she's got several on her website of beautiful big flowers. They're 6x6 inch stamp sets. And I thought, right, I'm going to put the media plate on the right hand side, put the stamp on the left hand side, and we're going to kind of do the same sorts of things. I'm going to put the powder down on the media plate so that it can kind of absorb some of the color and transfer it onto the flower stamp set. I'm going to use my paintbrush to kind of get those colors moving around so there's no gaps in there. Then I spritz the stamp, and now these are silicone stamps. They're not photopolymer stamps, and you still get a beautiful impression, which is really nice. And this is sort of what we did in the beginning with the piece of paper where we picked up that ink, but this time I didn't use the embossing ink, and I didn't need to. It seemed to work really well, and all you have to do is pick up that color and then pick it up again and again, and you can get these beautiful impressions. The mica powder sometimes kind of messes up what you're doing in terms of it kind of sticks to the mica powder and not the pigment powder necessarily, but you still get a gorgeous impression every time. So here on the left we've got this beautiful sort of rainbow color, and on the right it didn't work out. You thought I was going to say it was going to turn out beautifully, didn't you? It didn't. It didn't work. I didn't pick up enough of that color to get that impression to shine through. So it didn't work, but it's still a cool background, and I'm still going to make it into a card. So here I've got some blues and some reds, and here's where I come in with that big makeup flat thing that was all the rage. I thought this bad boy should blend these colors in real nice, and it did. So if you got one of these things and you're thinking, why did I buy this? What am I using it for? Use it for this. This worked out well. I kind of smushed all those colors together, and you still see the definition of the colors and the different colors in there, but it kind of helped to spread it across that whole palette. Now, I didn't press down very well, and I didn't spritz it very well, so the impression is not great. And then on this bit, you can see I've got some water there that I didn't dry my stamp very well when I did it. This is all a learning curve, so I hope you're enjoying it with me and not being like, oh God, I'm so bored. Sorry, but I hope you're having fun. But this is cool. You got that subtle background in there. So after about 3 hours of mucking about and picking up the kids in between, because I did a lot of this on Friday, I've got like 50 sheets of backgrounds. I could have kept going. I had to stop myself and say, Sasha, you need to get this video online, because otherwise no one's crafting you on Saturday night, and no one's going to know that you've got a new product launch coming out on Wednesday. So here we go. Here's a massive fast run through of all the fun things I did. I love all the beautiful stamped ones and how multicolored they are. Now, if you've got some of these and your mica powders aren't setting very well, make sure you just spray them with a quick spritz of hairspray. That will set them for you. I pulled out a whole bunch of embossing folders, and I'm going to go ahead and just use my paper trimmer to cut nice straight edges. So I'm just bundling it up to close to the edge. I'm not trying to get the size of the media plate. I'm just trying to get a nice sized image. So I did all that, and then I ran a few through my embossing folders. Now, most of these embossing folders, I think pretty much all of them, are not available. So this is a 3D embossing folder, which gives you that really big pop of dimension. So if you want to have this kind of dimensional look, just Google 3D embossing folders, and that's where you'll find them. I had some old ones in my stash, like a Stampin' Up! Butterfly one you'll see in a minute that I used as well. But this is as far as my video goes for today. I got to the point of embossing these panels, and we're going to turn them all into cards. Not all of them. I'm not going to show you 50 cards. But we are going to do a big set of cards in my next Saturday Night Crafting where we're going to turn them all into cards that we can use to give away. I'll give you ideas and inspiration on how you can do that. So make sure you tune in next Saturday if I've not bored you too much tonight, and join me then. Right. Have a great weekend. I'll see you then. Bye.